I said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Mid-ranges under 500 bucks are offering even more value every year, and this new Honor 400 is the latest and the best example of how much value you could be getting for your hard-earned cash. Looks wise, it's stylish and elegant, it feels premium, and at a glance you wouldn't be able to tell that this phone retails just below £400. Sure enough, the back cover is a bit slippery, but it completely holds up to modern standards, and in my opinion looks really good, in line with other good looking mid-ranges in its category. It's small and compact with flat sides, making it very comfortable to hold. The only downside of the Honor 400 is that the company is jumping on the bandwagon with Samsung and all the other key players, and it's no longer including a case or a power adapter inside the box. You win some and you lose some. As for the screen, the 6.5-inch AMOLED display provides accurate colors. It has great viewing angles and up to 5000 nits of peak brightness for HDR content. The 120Hz display felt responsive when scrolling on social media and playing games, and the high frequency PWM dimming reduced flickering, which is a welcome addition for a phone at this price. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 chipset powers the Honor 400, which is still very efficient and powerful for most day-to-day tasks. However, given that it's a rather old chip having been released at the end of 2023, it's not the most capable SoC a phone could have in 2025. Having said that, most games performed well during my testing. I've set the settings in most demanding games from medium to high, and I rarely saw stutters or any other performance issues, at least when these titles were set to medium. On high settings you'll experience stutters and some jittery performance, but let me be clear, the Honor 400 isn't a gaming phone by any stretch of the imagination. It will do well for the most part in medium settings, but it can also get hot and a bit uncomfortable for long sessions. As for day-to-day performance while browsing and doom scrolling Instagram, this will hold up just fine. Multitasking never raised any red flags, in fact the opposite. During my usage, the Honor 400 operated with remarkable smoothness and consistently delivered reliable performance. The Honor 400 comes with MagicOS 9 based on Android 15. Given the mid-range chipset and the affordable price tag, I have to give it to Honor for this one, as the company confirmed that it will provide OS and security support for 6 years. Given that most flagship phones are promised 7 years of updates, having 6 on a phone that retails for less than half is a massive milestone, making the Honor 400 an excellent smartphone for many years to come. And that's not the only major standout software feature of this phone. Honor also stepped up its game and decided it was time for mid-ranges to experience some cool new Honor AI features. The Honor 400 comes with your usual Google Circle to search and other goodies, as well as some specific Honor AI tools. These include the likes of the Magic Text, Magic Portal, AI Subtitles, AI Translate, AI Writing, and even AI Deepfake detection during video calls. These features are excellent and provide an improved user experience, especially if you want to rewrite content to sound more funny, formal, or casual. But the best features that stand out are the ones in the gallery. You can not only AI edit images to upscale, cut out parts, extend images, or erase anything you like on command, but also turn photos into a few second video snippets. This new image to video tool is powered by Google, and it shows a lot of promise and a new way to relive some of your most important memories in a new way. It can be creepy, inaccurate, but also really fun, and offer a new and creative way to get dropped back into a memory that quite honestly looks amazingly weird at the same time. I've tested these features with some of the photos I took, and I'll just let the results speak for themselves. When it comes to the Honor 400's other features and overall stylish looks, it's not so much different from its flagship counterparts. You still get the themes, customizable layouts and other features, and it's overall a pretty good setup. I just hope that these will follow suit when Android 16 comes out, and I hope that MagicOS 10 will provide even more colors that'll adapt to the system. The Honor 400 boasts a dual camera setup consisting of a 200 megapixel primary and a 12 megapixel ultrawide on the rear and a 50 megapixel front facing camera. The primary camera takes excellent photos in daylight, providing great details with wide dynamic range and accurate colors. Most of the photos I captured looked good, and I was quite pleased with the overall results as they look great for a phone at this price point. The 200 megapixel camera can also crop in 2 times or use a 4 times digital zoom feature to provide better shots from the distance, which also makes up for the lack of a telephoto sensor. In terms of results, the 2 time shots are pretty good with a good amount of detail and sharpness. The 4 time shots lack detail and sharpness, and the color is also less accurate, but I would say that these are still pretty usable, especially if you don't mind some tweaking before you post them on socials. The ultrawide camera is nothing to write home about. The 12 megapixel sensor takes decent overall images, but there's a great loss of detail. The dynamic range isn't the best here, and that also suffers when it comes to the colors. The small sensor also adds a bit of noise in low light, which isn't an area where I would recommend you use this. The primary shooter captures decent images in less than ideal settings, but it suffers a similar fate when there's very little light around your subject. On the contrary, when you have some light, the photos are actually pretty decent, providing okay results with a good amount of detail and colors. The selfie shots are also pleasant thanks to the 50 megapixel camera. The bokeh effects are good enough, and the dynamic range, colors and overall sharpness was decent overall. The contrast could at times be an issue, but it isn't a major concern in conditions where you have at least some light around you. Honor was among the first companies to use silicon carbon batteries in its flagships, and the Honor 400 is the latest to join this trend. The phone packs a beefy 5300 mAh battery in Europe, and it also supports 66 watt fast wired charging, which the company promises to go from 0 to 100% in about 45 minutes, which is on par with my findings. Sadly, there's no wireless charging on the Honor 400, and the company decided that this feature was only worth it for the slightly larger Honor 400 Pro, which does actually support 50 watt wireless charging. Now, when it comes to the overall battery life, the Honor 400 proves that it can last about a day on a single charge, but given the slowly aging chip, it's fair to say that this isn't going to be a battery champ. The Honor 400 managed to last about a day on a single charge, but I did need to top up every once in a while to make it to the end of the day, even when I only relied on Google Maps, a few messaging apps, a bit of social media and a bit of browsing. Watching a lot of videos and gaming can consume a lot of battery, which is one of the main reasons I would recommend you go with the Honor 400 Pro, especially if all of these things matter to you, as you're not only getting better performance but also a longer battery life. So, should you buy the Honor 400? It's clear as day that this phone isn't intended for heavy and power users who plan on gaming and consuming a ton of content on the go. The performance isn't the latest and the greatest, but credit is due where it's deserved, and the Honor 400 is an ideal mid-ranger with an affordable price tag and excellent overall performance when it comes to general usage. The phone performs well during day-to-day activities and multitasking. The camera provides great overall results, especially during daytime and in good lighting conditions, and while the ultrawide falls short and the battery doesn't always last a full day, it makes up for it with fast charging. The Honor 400 is worth considering for those looking for a decent mid-ranger for around £400, especially with Honor's early bird offers. This phone offers a beautiful display, performance that's great for general tasks, a camera that takes decent photos, and a software that's full of features and cool AI tools, not to mention software support for up to 6 years. However, for those of you looking for a device that provides significantly more performance, more camera capabilities and a better battery, you might want to consider saving up for the slightly larger Honor 400 Pro, the Samsung Galaxy A56, or even the Google Pixel 9 or Pixel 9a. And there you have it. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. With all that said, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.